Good morning, folks. Welcome back to Red Feather Farms. Of course, you know me. I'm Dwayne, but I don't know if you know Sarah yet. Sarah helps me here, and she's also studying about plant medicine and the spiritualities and stuff of it. So we're doing harvesting today. We're actually harvesting seed heads today. Now, we'll be harvesting some other plants later, but mainly we're going to start with seed heads. Plants that were spring plants or spring, early summer. And what we're going to do is we're going to scatter some of the seeds that we collect to bring those back, but we're also going to be able to carry those to some other places and hopefully trade those with some people that might want to be able to put some of these medicinal plants in their area. So we always need to look at the environment, and Sarah, as you can look, you can see rocks growing here.
Yeah.
And the place we live at here in Osage County in Oklahoma, there's one thing we grow really good. Rocks. Okay. It'll rain and guys, rocks just pop up. Okay. Everybody else says, well, I had flowers pop up. Well, we got rocks that'll pop up. Yeah. That's another reason you can probably see in the background goats. That's another reason we raise goats here, is because goats tend to do good on this terrain. You look at your environment and you live within the parameters that Mother Nature is giving you. So right now on this soil, a lot of rocks at the top. We're looking at soil that is not real fertile. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to say the poorest of all soils, but it is poor, and so we're not the best conditions. And there's plants that like to live. Did you feel rain?
Yeah. It's
Woohoo!
starting to sprinkle a little bit.
Okay. If it rains on us, we're going to continue filming.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're happy about it.
All right. We are excited that it rains. So if this is what we got to do to get some rain, we're going to be out here doing this. So. But yarrow tends to like poor soils. Yeah. That's where you'll find it a lot of times. And so we've got other plants we're going to look at today. We're going to collect some yarrow. We're going to collect some self-heal. We're going to collect some bee balm, some sumac, smooth sumac. And I have a special secret place that I'm going to go collect mullein. Okay? So guys, just letting you know, we're going to start right here. We're going to do ceremony to give thanks to the plants for letting us be able to harvest some of them. I'm not going to put that in. We're going to cut it, and then we'll come back, and because I don't like filming ceremony, and then we're going to go in and talk about harvesting these plants. Okay, so stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, we're going to start with this plant right here, guys. As you can see, I have mowed some of this around here. There was a lot of bitter sneezeweed in here. And people say, well, why are you doing that? I know it is a food for the bees, but we're trying to get some fall honey from the bees. And bitter sneezeweed tends to make the honey bitter, as in the name bitter sneezeweed. And so I went on and mowed a lot of this to kind of keep that amount of bitter sneezeweed down. It likes on poor soil also. So we're going to harvest a little bit of yarrow here, and I'm going to let Sarah start harvesting some heads. We're just going to clip the heads. I'm going to run and get the camera and get some close-ups of this, okay?
Do you do the whole seed head?
I'll take the whole seed head, right, especially in the field. I'm just going to take the whole seed head, and then what I'm going to do is when I get back in the house later where it's cooler and not raining, then what we'll do is just hold that. I'm going to get down here where we can see it. And that is a seed head for wild yarrow, guys. Okay? And while she's doing that, I'm gonna pan around, and she's gonna grab a sack, and we're gonna keep all these separate. If you'll see, there's another one right there. Okay, and we've got them scattered. Here's one. Here's another one. I'm gonna walk around. I'll kind of say some of them as I was mowing. I was trying to pay attention here, and if I'll pan around so y'all can see, there's several in there. That yellow flower is what we call bitter sneezeweed. So I'm gonna stop the video right now until we get over to self-heal. You've seen that. And we might even collect some purple coneflower, echinacea. I see some. Okay? All right, bye-bye. Okay, guys, we're back. And we harvested a little bit of yarrow. And the goats still don't understand what's going on. They want to be a part of it. So y'all do not knock down my tripod. Okay? So we're going moving on now. I'm going to do a little bit about purple coneflower. And we've got some, if you can see, this seed head has already popped off at the top. And we have this one right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off down at the ground. And this is one of the things that, you know, I'm teaching Sarah, is to know these plants in every stage of their life. Because actually purple coneflower, we can use the leaves that you see right here, but the real medicine comes from the root. And right now would be the time of the year that we would dig the root. Okay? I'm not going to dig any of these roots because I want this to multiply. I am going to take some of the seed heads. We're going to scatter some, and I'm going to put some in other places. But this is how we know where this plant is at. And know these plants, guys. Know their environment. Purple cone also likes to grow in poor soil. Okay? So, but know where they're at and know their environment. As I'm going to walk up so you guys can get a little closer view of this, hopefully. You can see the seed head. Some of these leaves have fallen off, but you still see some of the leaves left. And that helps you identify that as purple coneflower. Okay? Also, I know it's here because I seen it bloom earlier this year. And so I made note of that. So you should always know and make note of what you see. So the root we would dig up at this time of the year, generally if you use a root, you dig it in the fall because that's when all the energy goes back down to it. Okay? Now there's one exception to that rule, and that's going to be teasel. And I like to dig the teasel root. Teasel is a biennial plant. I want to dig it the spring of the second year when it first starts to come up. And you can tell that it's a second year plant if it comes up and it doesn't have last year's seed stalk or last year's stalk from it. Okay? And because when you do that, you're getting that root with its most potency. Okay? So if you'll grab a bag here. And since we got rain, guys, we'll have to for sure set these out and let them dry. And so Sarah and I are just going to take and I'm going to clip the seed head off. I'll leave the rest of this out here. And we're going to walk around this patch. There's several in here in this little patch. I had another one down the road, a place that I usually harvest. And yesterday afternoon, while I was driving by, he was mowing it down for hay. So I guess this is all we're going to be harvesting this year is what we see around here today. So I've got another couple of places we may see some purple coneflower, but we're going to harvest what we can harvest here. If it's not a big harvest, that's what we're supposed to get.
That's right.
Okay, so I'm going to stop the video. Next one up is Hill. Okay, all right, guys, welcome back. We're on to the next plant. We've harvested yarrow so far, purple cone, and we walked it under this persimmon grove. These are persimmon trees to get a little bit of shelter from the rain. And at the same time, we walked into a huge patch of Hill. So we're going to take and harvest some of this Hill. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the patches that we had before. Those plants tend to scatter. They don't clump. Okay? Hill will tend to clump like this from time to time. You'll find it in patches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the camera in closer, and I'm going to show you how I was taught to collect when you find a plant that tends to clump like this. Okay? So Sarah, you want to get the camera and we'll get in here? All right, guys, we'll give you a close-up of this in just a second, and I'm going to try to put you some pictures of what this plant looks like in live. But you see we've got a good clump here, okay? And Sarah has been using Hill for quite a bit. Sarah, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the things that you use Hill for?
It's a really impressive plant. I have it in dried form as well as in a tincture. Basically what it does speed the recovery process that your body is going through. So one thing that you could use self-heal for is creating like a spray that you would use for wounds. You could take part of that tincture with self-heal and infuse it with other things such as yarrow, like we've harvested, or calendula, or other things that are good for healing the skin. And you could create like a wound spray that you could spray on open cuts and wounds that would help it stop bleeding, as well as prevent infections and speed up the recovery process. You can also use it internally and drink it as a tea as well. If you are having some difficulties getting over virus or anything like that, it can be really helpful to just kind of give your body a boost. It's called self-heal because that's basically what it helps your body do, which is really awesome.
One of the things that I use it for, in addition to the things that Sarah talked about, is this is one of the herbs that we use if someone has Crohn's. This tends to help with Crohn's. Okay, so this is, you know, different herbs are used for different things for different people. And I'll tell you guys, I had not noticed self-heal on the property until this year. So that tells me when we see a plant, or we see a lot of a plant, that we're to work with that plant. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we feel led to work with this plant quite a bit. We're going to spread some more out. It tends to like it in here in this shade. It's done real well. We've got it in some other places down here, but not in this abundance. So this is the environment that you can tell this is the environment it likes. So we're going to harvest some seeds, but we're also going to scatter some seeds. And when you find something in a bunch like this, we tend to not harvest from the outside, because if you do, you contain it. We tend to want to harvest from the inside, and that way these seeds will fall in and regrow this on the inside, and these seeds will fall out and regrow it from the outside. So we're actually spreading the size of this patch. So we're going to selectively take some of this from the inside here. We may take a few of these here and there and spread them in this area because it really likes this area, and see what kind of patch that we come about from this from next year. So we've got it. It's already starting to spread out some. So I've got us a bag here, and we're going to start putting some seed heads and see what we can do. Okay, and I'm going to get in here and grab one all the way down while Sarah is collecting, and I'm going to walk over to the camera. This is not the best specimen, but where you can see this, these are the main seed heads. These are where the blooms were at, the flowers. And you can see it'll flower up and down that stem. Okay? So this is what you're looking at. This is what it looks like in this stage. Okay? And I will get a picture and show you what it looks like when it's blooming, so you'll be able to see it at that stage. I'll pass that to you. And I've explained what we're going to do, so I'm going to shut the camera off right now, and we're going to harvest, guys. All right, guys, here's a little spot that we're going to go in and talk to you about. As you can see, we just left a big patch of self-heal, but there's one, there's another one, and there's another one. There's 3 plants in this area. Will I harvest anything from this? No, I won't. There's not enough to harvest. Will I help this plant scatter its seeds? Yes, but I will not harvest anything from this little section. So, all right, we're going to go on, guys, thanks for watching. Next section, but I just want to show you, this is self-heal here, and but I will not harvest any of it. Let us know what you're out there harvesting these days. Be sure and watch the next video coming. It's going to be collecting smooth sumac. We found some great soapberry, and talking about winged elm. So you never know what goes on here on the farm, so stay tuned at Red Feather Farms.